So hello everybody, today I'll be talking to you about biodiesel and why you should choose biodiesel engines over electric cars. So first of all, I want to say, what is biodiesel? Biodiesel is a domestic renewable fuel for diesel engines. And now we want to know, what is the main benefit of biodiesel? Like, why choose biodiesel over electric cars? And the reason is because biodiesel has many environmentally beneficial properties. The main benefit is that biodiesel is carbon neutral. And what this means is that the amount of carbon that is used to make biodiesel, the CO2 that is used to make the biodiesel, goes out when you're burning the fuel. So in overall, nothing's gained and nothing's lost. Now here on the PowerPoint, I have pictures that show what biodiesel is made of. Now the most common misconception is that biodiesel is only made of corn or crops. And this is actually the most least efficient way to make biodiesel. So the top picture on the top shows just a man like farming, just making biodiesel like that. The second way to make it is through garbage. And here I have a picture of the movie Back to the Future. I don't know if you guys remember, but how they fueled their cars was through garbage. So when this is how they thought that cars would be fueled in the future. And now this is the future. So we can see how this idea is not so far-fetched. We also have a picture of feces, which is, believe it or not, it's also another way to make biodiesel. And it's actually very efficient as well. Now, the third way to make biodiesel is with algae production. And many people don't know this. Algae, the way that they make algae is that many farmers nowadays, they have a lot of algae farms. And what they do is they grow the algae in vertical plastic bags. This also helps because the vertical plastic bags take room in the sky, but they don't really take up that much room on the ground. And this makes for algae to be one of the best sustainable biofuels out there. Also, what they do is they take the amount of biofuel that is made with algae is actually 50% biofuel, and the other 50% is biomass that can be used to feed other animals or for many other purposes. Furthermore, the cost of biofuel is going to be about half the cost that we have right now for other oils or petroleum and stuff like that. So overall, there's a very, very good alternative. It's very environmentally friendly because algae grows anywhere. Like, I don't know, if you're very dirty, you can even grow in your bathroom, you know? So it's like a very, very good alternative. Now I'll pass it to my friend to continue.
Okay, so yeah, we don't agree the use of crops to make biodiesel. That's why we believe the other ways are more friendly. What's nice with this is we can actually use our waste, which we don't need at all, and we get rid of two problems at the same time. First, we have energy, and second of all, we get rid of some of our waste. And we all agree that this we will never run out of. You can always fuel your car with this. So yeah, this is why we think it's better. And on top of that, electric cars. Do you remember the first lecture when the teacher talked about the batteries causing many bloodbaths in the mining industry? Well, imagine over 300 million cars running on this. Remember this? It will only get worse. On top of that, batteries are very polluted. If the material used in it, and then when you throw that back in the nature, it's just awful. There are mercury, lead, and they're not that efficient. Many of you have cell phones and laptops, right? You can see that after only a few years, even like a few months, your battery is less effective. So imagine that in a car. In only a few years, you will need to change your battery. And a battery in a car is really expensive. And it's really not eco-friendly.
Okay. Also, another argument is that electric batteries are very heavy and they take a lot of space. And not to mention that they only charge for about 150 or 175 kilometers in one charge. So, which is really not enough for most people to travel. You can't take electric cars for long distances because you're going to run out. So what are you going to do? Like drive it for 30 minutes and then wait 30 minutes to charge it and then drive it again? Like that's just not like something feasible. Also, we need to install charging stations everywhere. And right now, in the whole city of Fairfax, there's only 2. So like, we can't wait turns to like go charge our car. It's really expensive, and if we install them everywhere in everyone's house, the price of electricity and the price of our houses is going to go up.
Okay, hello. Okay, electric vehicles are the way of transport of the future. Gasoline and biodiesel cars emit through their tailpipe nitrogen oxide, which combines with particles in the air and sunlight to create smog, which is a big problem in urban areas because it creates respiratory diseases. Whereas electric vehicles produce no tailpipe emissions, therefore this makes for cleaner air because there's less airborne particle pollution. If we talk about the efficiency of an electric vehicle, Tesla Motors uses electric motors that are 88% efficient versus 20 to 25% efficiency in a car run by an ICE motor. Furthermore, the fact that little ventilation grills are needed in the motors, this creates a better aerodynamic profile of the vehicle. And regenerative braking installed in electric cars allows for a recuperation of up to 90% of the braking energy, the energy lost by braking, which can be used to recharge the battery in the car. In fact, a report from the Electric Power Research Institute claims that electric vehicles in 2008 consume 1/5 of the energy used to go the same distance that you would use in an ICE-powered vehicle. If we take a look at performance, a good example is the Tesla Roadster, which can accelerate to 60 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds. It provides a smooth drive, a lot of torque, and is free of the noise from an ICE engine. If again we look at Tesla Motors, and as an example, the viability of electric cars, they are putting up charging stations all around California and the East Coast. You will be able to charge your car up to a range of 241 kilometers in 30 minutes, and if you have a larger battery, up to 482 kilometers in 1 hour. They're also adding these stations along the Interstate 95 in Delaware and Connecticut. Therefore, presently, you're able to do just a weekend drive to go from Washington to Boston. Also, using electric vehicles, you shift the scope of the environmental problem from 300 million tailpipes to 1,500 power plants, which is a lot smaller scale. And it's a lot easier to filter the emissions from power plants than from 300 million tailpipe from cars.
Can you guys hear me? Everyone? Yeah. Okay, cool, because I don't want to use that. Okay. Since you talked about efficiency, I'm going to talk about maintenance. All electric vehicles require less maintenance than a car with an internal combustion engine, which is also the cars that run on biofuels. This is due to the fact that the battery, the motor, and all associated electronics require little to no regular maintenance, and there are fewer fluids that you need to change in the car, so you don't have oil to use as much and everything else. The brakes on your car will wear out a lot slower than the brakes on an internal combustion engine because of the regenerative braking that she mentioned earlier. There are fewer moving parts in the car compared to an ICE engine, and that is basically why it's easier to fix an electric car than a car with an internal combustion engine. Also, as they mentioned, they said that the batteries are dangerous and that in an accident they can easily explode. That is true, but lately the cars have been designed to avoid those types of accidents. now the batteries in an electric car are in a high voltage electrical system that range from 100 to 600 volts. But now the batteries, to avoid accident, to avoid danger, are stocked in a sealed shell, and they are put under dangerous conditions during tests, such as overcharge, vibration, extreme temperatures, short circuit, humidity, fire, or collisions, and water immersion. And and if they are able to sustain and remain functional under those conditions, they use them in the cars. Also, electric vehicles have lower centers of gravity, which makes it so that they are less likely to roll over. And finally, yeah, that's pretty much it.